Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to be doing this series on the MBTI like I said, and we've done ESTJ recently, and you guys have seen that one, and I hope that you liked it as well. And now we're going to turn our attention to the ISTJ, i.e. the logistician. And this is of course a video in honor of England and English people. I have personally lived in England for about 8 years, and I loved it. It was pretty cool. Learned a lot of things as well. And in honor, of course, of the Euro Cup, in case you guys are not aware, the Euro Cup right now is going on, and England recently played against, was it Netherlands, I think? Against the Dutch, and they won. And now I think it's basically going to be England versus Spain. I believe that Spain is going to win. This is a personal opinion, but we will see. We will see. So anyway, if you guys are rooting for England, who's rooting for England? Leave a comment. Let us know that you care about England, that you're rooting for England. If you're an ISTJ, you know, if you're that autistic type of weirdo, just know that we love you. We love you, especially the ESTJ. The ESTJ loves the ISTJ. All right, guys? So don't worry about it. You're autistic. You got a lot of autistic tendencies, or maybe you're full-on autistic, very logistical type of person. No problem, man. You're a weirdo. You're an eccentric motherfucker, but we love you. Just know that we love you. All right? And probably respect you as well. You know, you might be working in a hangar, you know, handling packages. I've done that myself. Worked in a hangar handling packages, sorting packages, and that kind of stuff. I found it to be quite boring, to be honest. I didn't really like it that much, but there was a lot, guys. There was a lot of ISTJs there. Like the number of autistic ISTJs there was insane, and they're very good at the job. You know, you got a hangar and you need to do this logistical stuff. Excuse me, handling packages, sorting packages. These motherfuckers, these ISTJs, motherfucker, man, they're way, way ahead of you. They're very, very good at this stuff. You know, there'll usually be like an ESTJ dude who's like the boss, right, the supervisor, telling these motherfuckers what to do, and you'll have all these like ISTJs working, and just getting that shit done superbly like a machine, right? Flawlessly. You might be an ISTJ logistician. You might be the local GP. You might be a doctor. There's a lot of doctors who have autism. Actually, being an ISTJ probably gonna make it very, very easy for you to become a doctor, because the first thing you do is the SI, right? The memories. You learn, and memorize, and then TE, problem solve. So that's what a doctor does. They learn, and go to med school, learn for like 8 fucking years, 10 fucking years, everything in the books, all the diseases, all the illnesses, all the bacteria, all the viruses, all the infections, blah, 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 blah. And then they go to practice. Here's a patient. What is this? What do we do about it? What's the solution? Problem solving. TE. Here's the medication. This is this. Do lab work. Do blood checkup. Okay, we found out this. Okay, this guy's got AIDS. Oh, give him this. This guy's got chlamydia. Give him this. You know, whatever, right? So obviously, you know, as an ESTJ, I would have like gone around and fucked a bunch of girls and got myself in trouble and maybe get sick and have like some kind of UTI or maybe some kind of venereal disease. And I'll go to my ISTJ doctor, you know what I mean? He'll be like, bro, help me out, man. I'm having problems, man. My dick don't work no more. It does. It does work, guys. Don't worry about it. It does. All right. That thick sausage, it does work. But yeah, got like a UTI or infection, and be like, hey, doctor, help me out, man. I need some medication, man. And ISTJ will be like, you, sir, have come to the right person. We're going to help you out now. Here's your medication. Ta-ding! All right. So Okay, enough fun. Let's go to the serious stuff. All right. So, ISTJ, the logistician. SI, TE, FI, and NE, right? These guys are geniuses when it comes to getting shit done that requires some kind of memory. So I don't know how to explain it. Like you have to something that you have to have learned previously. See, it's kind of the opposite, flip flop with the ESTJ. The ESTJ is coming in with that TE. They're like dun, 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 problem solve, problem solve. They're figuring that shit out on their own, right? The TE, right? It's dominant TE. They're just going around and solving problems. They don't need somebody to tell them or teach them or to have some kind of memory or experience. They'll just do it, right? They'll figure it out. They'll sort of innovate, if you want to call it, as far as the problem solving is concerned. And then they'll register all of that in a memory bank and have that as like a memory. Like these are the experiences, memories, and then they'll might go and talk about it or use it to help others or whatever, or to perfect or hone their methods. Guys, ISTJ is flip-flop. It's the opposite. The SI first and then the TE. So the memory kicks in, right? So we have the SI, first one. The dominant function is SI, memory of experiences and things they learned, as in a tradition. Think of Japan, guys. You guys know Japan? Japan, right? It's an island, just like England. England is an ISTJ nation, but Japan is also an ISTJ nation. Something about living on an island seems to produce these ISTJ types. Nothing wrong with it. Very insular, very autistic, but whatever. We like the Japanese, right? We do like the Japanese, and we do like the English people. I mean, at least I do. I don't know about you guys, but I think most people do like Japanese people. Anyway, so Japan, ISTJ, traditional, very traditional. What? You go to Japan, right? And you'll see these Japanese people, like these ISTJs, fucking making katanas, the best katana in the world, right? And it's like this very complicated method to forge a blade and make a katana. Somebody taught them that. They're not coming with that. They're not innovating anything. It was taught to them. It's a tradition. He'll say to you, I am making this katana in a very complicated process that takes like a month. My father taught me how to make this. It's a tradition in our family. My father taught me how to do this. And his father taught him how to do this. And blah, 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 So it's very traditional. It's very repetitive. It's like, we already perfected it. We know how to do it. Now we just keep doing it. Same thing with the traditional houses. Everything's traditional in Japan. They have a tradition how to build houses. Those traditional Japanese houses are built to a specific standard. This standard was already perfected, and it's being taught generation to generation. Guys, tradition matters. Tradition matters. And especially if you're an ISTJ, tradition matters a lot. Okay? Right, so talked about SI being the dominant function with the ISTJ. It's the first thing that kicks in. Memories, experiences, things they learned, the tradition, blah, blah, blah. They need to have learned something previously, maybe in a book, maybe in a video, maybe when they were in a lecture in a university, whatever. They need to have learned this shit somewhere to have that memory, and they have good, very, very good memory. And then they will go and apply it. Where's the application come in? TE. That's the secondary function, extroverted thinking. That's the problem solving and execution. So that ISTJ, based on the memory of the things that they have learned and experiences in life, they will be able to execute, and very well as well. So they will execute and get these things done, right? So that person who's forging that katana and blade to perfection is using TE, but it is TE based on the SI. He's always, he needs to have already registered or memorized in his head how to make the blade, how to make the katana, right? And then he goes in and makes a beautiful katana, something that, nobody has fucking seen anywhere in the world, right? The best katana in the world. You got to pay for like $5,000 for one of those katanas, right? Anyway, tempering of steel. I don't want to go into that, but look it up. Look it up. Tertiary function, FI, introverted feelings. So the difference between the ISTJ and the ESTJ is that they do have a little bit more FI going on, and this FI is the personal values, principles, and feelings. So it's the personal emotions, how they feel about things, and their values. And autistic people tend to be a little bit more principled, as these traditional people generally are. They will be quite principled. They will have a lot of strong principles about what they believe should or shouldn't be done. You know, like that person who is making or forging that blade or the katana, they're gonna say, "It has to be done this way, son. It has to be done this way, son. No, we cannot make it other way. It has to be done like my father did this." Hi. Okay, it's like karate, right? Karate. There's no flexibility. It's like H ni san gu rock hey ti kya. You know, it's like very specific. Actually, they call them kata in a karate. They call it kata. You have to go and make these specific moves. You know, very repetitive and specific moves. There's no deviation. It's just a very fixed standard, very fixed principle, very fixed value. This is how it should be done. That's it. Rigid. ESTJs, not so much. ESTJ gonna be like, well, yeah, I see what you're saying. You can do it this way, but maybe you can also do it that other way. You know, I figured out a better way to do it the other day. You know what I mean, look, man, I don't really care, right? As long as it gets done, you know, I'm willing to do anything, right? There's no rigidity. It's like, well, I need coffee, right? I can have a cold brew, which I have in my hand right now. I have a cold brew. You can have a cold brew coffee with honey, or you can make a hot brew. You can brew a coffee with hot water. It doesn't matter for an ESTJ. I don't care. I just want coffee, right? As long as I get that coffee and caffeine, I don't really care. It doesn't have to be cold. It doesn't have to be hot. It just has to be coffee. Okay? So it's a little bit more flexibility. So these autistic ISTJs, guys, I'm not using the word autistic as an insult. It's just, it is what it is, right? I mean, they may not really be autistic, like full on, but they have these like tendencies, right? So yeah, they have very rigid principles, and you do find this with autistic people. They're extremely rigid. They have a pattern. There's things they want to do during the day. Excuse me, guys. Specific things they have to do during the day, and they're very rigid about that. If you disrupt their rigid patterns, behavioral patterns, they get angry. They don't like it, you know. And that's like when you're dealing with this Japanese person, they see you doing something that they did not expect you to do, or you're trying to make them do something in a different way. They just say, no. You know, you see these Japanese people, they're getting really angry, like in your face, like, no, don't talk to me anymore. That's it. We're done. You're messing with this FI. Like, there's a very rigid principle. It should be done this way. Then we come to the last one, number 4, which is the NE, or the extroverted intuition. This is just an observation of patterns and then data. It's like they're using the NE last, but they're using it to observe the patterns around them and pick up on the significance of this. What's the significance of these patterns? What kind of data can we extract from these? But you notice something here. Unlike the ESTJ, the NE is actually connected to the SI, whilst here the NE is actually connected to the FI, right? So that means they're observing patterns and data as far as their own feelings and principles and emotions are concerned, and what they understand from that, right? I hope that makes some sense to you guys, right? So it's a kind of like an analysis of their own emotional realm. And you will find this quite often with autistic people is they tend to stay in their own head. They tend to stay in their own world, thinking, observing, analyzing, things that they have felt, or the principles, values that they have. I met a lot of autistic people previously who go in and they talk a lot about some kind of belief that they have, like maybe they have like a religious belief or something of that nature, and they'll just keep trying to explain to you why they believe that belief is true and why your belief is false. But usually they won't focus too much on why your belief is false. The autistic person will focus more on why their belief is right. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of the autism, right? They're not really concerned with proving that you are wrong. I guess like an ESTJ is kind of the opposite. Like an ESTJ not only wants to prove that he is right, but he wants to also stomp all over you. He wants to stomp all over your beliefs. He wants to prove that your beliefs are wrong, actually. It's not just him proving that his beliefs are right. It's also proving that your beliefs are trash. So he's going to go in the offensive. He's going to attack you. He's going to say, you're a dumbass. You're a moron. You believe in, I don't know, Jesus. Fuck Jesus. Fuck this. This is wrong, man. I don't believe in the cross. I don't believe in this. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's wrong. Because I believe this, and this belief that I'm believing is the right one. And it proves that your belief is not the right one. This is like the ESTJ kind of mindset or mentality. It's very offensive. The ISTJ is a little bit more defensive. It's like, I'm explaining to you why my beliefs are right. I don't really care about your beliefs. Say I am Christian, for example. I'm an ISTJ and I'm Christian, and I'm debating somebody who's a Jew. I'm not going to worry too much with learning about Judaism and trying to break it down or criticize it in order to make my beliefs seem better. I'm going to worry more about proving to you why you should be a Christian, why you should believe in Christ. And despite that, okay, you believe in Moses or Judaism, fine, but I don't really, you get what I'm saying? So that is the ISTJ, guys. Like I said, you will find these autistic motherfuckers, you will find them a lot. Your local GP is probably an ISTJ, definitely. A lot of doctors, ISTJ. A lot of these people that work in hangars, handling like packages and stuff, and just doing some kind of very repetitive sort of routine work, they will be ISTJs, and they will be very, very autistic. And we need these people. We need these people. Society just wouldn't function without these people, right? Because you can try and put like an ESTJ as a doctor, and they might do relatively well, to be honest. I mean, an ESTJ would probably be a decent doctor, but they're not going to be particularly good at being a doctor, right? Because they're going to try to solve the problem before referring back to the memories of the things they learned in med school. And probably their SI is not as strong as the TE. So actually, even their memory of, what they learned, there'll be holes in it. Like they won't remember everything. So they might miss a couple of things here and there. You know what I mean? They'll probably do a decent job as far as medicine is concerned. But I think they would do better as head of the medical department. So they would be the ones supervising or managing the doctors. They have a lot of knowledge in a medical field, so they can deal with the doctors and tell them what to do based on what they already know about medicine and how medicine functions. But they're not going to be too detail oriented. They're not going to be too focused on like the medical jargon and stuff. They'll just be wanting to manage or supervise these doctors, the ISTJ, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was the logistician, the English and the Japanese. If you are English watching this, if you're from England, if you're Japanese, press the like button, subscribe, and comment. And I shall see you in the next time. Ta-ta!